Hello and welcome to Cards and Coaching. And I would like to thank the Querent to give me the opportunity to put this video online. So first of all, it is a real reading, and second point, it may give you the opportunity to understand how this kind of reading and counseling is working. So first of all, I'm going to use a way I'm using quite often. It is one card, three decks, because the same way as the universe very often gives us the same message in different ways, using the same card in different decks or taking a look at different decks at the same card of different decks gives us the opportunity to maybe see differences and nuances that helps us better understanding what message lies behind. So in this case, I'm going to use following decks. So first of all, the Mermaid Tarot, because it is not as typical light and love as very often you find in this mermaid subject. It is still very straightforward and down to earth or down to water in this way. So it taps into the idea of feeling without leaving our brain aside. So I think this is a very good one for the question that will come up. The second one I will use is the Spiritsong Tarot. There you get it. Which is Cassidy's deck, and it is very kind and soft, yet still very honest. And the third one is one I use for quite some time. It is one of my first decks that I was using. It is the Fantasy Universal Tarot. And there it is. And it seems to be very, yes, well, fantasy-like, but the message behind is still very clear. So you see the different decks are very really different. So it is not something that is very similar. The real thread through the whole thing, the red thread through the whole thing, is that it is tarot. So the question my Querent came up with was there were two questions that go along with each other. And please allow me to just stay, especially at the second question, for a certain moment. So the first question was about what the universe wanted to tell her concerning finding love, and the second one was when am I going to find the love that is or the person that is going to care and to love for me. And especially this question when is very important in my eyes because it is not a time question. I know that a lot of people who are working with tarot are trying to find out about what card is talking about month or about weeks or about maybe summer or winter or stuff like that. And I think that bringing it up as if it was an appointment could have the risk that people are waiting for this moment to come. Oh, now it is winter and nothing happened. And I would like, that is the difference between this typical tarot reading into a future way. I would like to go into a counseling direction and saying the when, I will pick that word up again and say, well, when I am understanding a certain point, or when I have done something, or when I have evolved into a certain position, into that being who is ready, then the thing might come, or I might have evolved in a way that I become aware that I don't actually want what I wanted maybe before this evolution. And so for me, this is the difference between using when as a timeline or using it as a next step or further steps into an evolution. So this is the way I'm going to read the question or I'm going to read the cards. So I'm going to use the Mermaid deck as first deck, and then I'm going to pick up the cards out of the other decks and read and explain the different cards. So just to give you a certain idea how the Mermaid cards are, I'm going to just show you one or two just to give you an idea. And I'm going to, well, logically, to shuffle them. Everyone has his own or her own way to pick a card. Some are using the ones that are falling out the moment they are shuffling. I normally shuffle the cards and spread them out and go over the cards. And when I have the feeling that this is the right card to pick, that is the one I'm going to use. There are people who tell me that they sort of sense a certain, like, the temperature changing. You might think that this is nonsense. I think if it is your thing, then simply go for it. So, what is the message for my querent concerning her finding love? So, this is the card of the Mermaid Tarot. Give me just the time to pick the cards out of the other decks, and I'm coming back to you to give you an explanation about the reading. So, let me first show you all three of the cards to get a certain first look at it. And the moment I took the cards, I also took my glasses so to better take a look at the cards and explain them. So, the first one, so we're talking about Two of Wands. And the first one I showed you already, that's the mermaid version of it. The Spiritsong is a falcon, which I like very well for that idea. Let me try and find a way so that you can see it. And the Universal Fantasy or Fantasy Universal Tarot shows a woman working on a kind of blanket, a kind of complete image. So that is held by the Two of Wands, so that you can see the whole picture. So first of all, before I'm showing the cards and explaining the cards, the Two of Wands is about the next step, and I think that this is something that is very important for your situation. So you are asking this question, maybe also because somewhere inside you may be wondering if you are ready for the next step. And the cards may give you an idea about this or may give you the correct questions so you can find out for yourself. One thing is very important. A lot of people are going to tell you that the answer is inside of yourself, and that may be correct, but the images can help you finding out about that answer. Sometimes we need the help in the outside so we can find what is going on in our inside. So this next step, I'm going to show you first again the mermaid card. So you see the mermaid having the two wands. As the mermaid is still in the water and looks at the earth and at a volcano. So we have in the volcano we have this fire, and she can only imagine the fire that is inside because it is not erupting, or maybe it was erupting, but now there is no fire to be seen. But she knows about it. Maybe she even feels the heat. As the person is still in the water, in this moment, it also means that the person is still in his or her comfort zone. So maybe the universe might like you to consider how far you are ready now to step out of the comfort zone, out of the comfort zone of living your life as you are used to live it, and are you ready to make this extreme change that might be? Because for a mermaid, this means to let go of the water, to let go of the way she is, growing legs, to be capable of stepping onto the earth and to walk the earth and not needing to swim in it anymore. So the card gives you a certain idea that making this next step also means that there are changes involved. And the question is, are you ready to go on with those changes? Are you ready to make those changes that might right now seem to be very drastic? what is important to me is to keep it as a question. It is not to say you are not ready or you are ready or something like that. It isn't something you should put yourself under pressure. Just take your time, think about it, feel inside of yourself, and start asking yourself if you are ready to do this step. Because in your question, you said, when is that person coming who cares for me? But love is not simply about caring for each other, but later on to look together into more or less the same direction and to make the first steps then at the different goals and to put those goals together. So it is not that whoever is going to choose to be at your side looks at you the whole time through, and you don't need to look at him being sure that he cares, but it should give you the opportunity to look further, to know that as you step further onto your own road, that he will be there without you looking at him, the same way that he will know that even if you do not look at him for that moment, you're looking into the same direction, and he doesn't need to ask you if you're caring for him in a certain way. You should tell each other later on, that's not the problem, but to be sure that it is something that you do together, that it is walking a path together later on, a certain path together. So here it is the same thing. This step, which might mean that there are some changes that you consider to be drastic, because here we're talking about water that changes into earth in a certain way. But take a look at the evolution concerning earth. The fishes, they didn't just decide and step onto earth. It was a lifelong and a very long evolution. Well, you might not need millions of years, but just don't forget to take your time to become ready to have someone at your side again. So the second card is one that is far more into action. So the ones are action cards, actually. So in all those moments where we believe that we are ready or we are not, and we are hesitating and we know there is a step to be done, we should not forget to be absolutely sure that it is the right moment to do this step. And if you hesitate and later on you believe that it was the correct moment and the right moment, no, it wasn't. If you were still hesitating, it wasn't the right moment, because you have to be ready as the moment has to be ready. And I think it is very important, just the way that a prey bird sees a mouse and has to find the correct moment to go down and to catch the mouse. You, the universe in a certain way, and your world around and your world inside have to be in the same flow so that you will be actually ready to do this move. And again, it shows you something very important, that it is not something you should put pressure upon, neither onto the universe and a potential partner waiting for you, nor on yourself. So don't judge yourself if you were hesitating. Consider it that there was a reason you were hesitating. Don't judge yourself if maybe you didn't take action at a certain moment, and the moment wasn't the right one. So you have the possibility to just, well, try, do different tries, and then the moment when you are ready and the moment is ready, you will know, and then you will just, like the prey bird, catch the mouse, or, well, catch your partner. A third card is left, which is the card of the Fantasy Universal deck. So let me again try to find a way so you can see it. So again, you see the person who is working on this plate, on its work, And they don't simply show this actual moment where she's working on it, but you have the possibility to take a look at the whole picture of what lies behind and of what lies in front of it. So, whatever steps you are doing and whatever ideas you are considering for the moment being, never forget the whole picture. It is important that the moment you step into a partnership, it means not simply that it is you at the moment present, at the present moment, but also what do you bring along from your experiences, from your childhood, from all this, and what lies behind and what lies in front of you now that you do that. So the moment you find that person, the moment you meet that person, sure, you should appreciate and cherish this moment, but become aware that there is far more than just this moment, that it means that it is included into a big picture as the stitch she is doing right now is included into this whole image that the person is creating. So please never forget that this is what is important too, that it is not simply a certain just that moment. So the moment you fall in love is a special moment, but don't cling to it. It is important that you are aware that that means that it is only one step into a new life with a partner. And so maybe the universe is telling you that as long as you are waiting for this absolute moment of experience, of becoming lovers, that you should not forget that there is a whole picture behind and in front of you. So, if I'm coming back to the question, when will this person step into my life? Then maybe it also shows you at this moment, it will step into your life the moment you understand what your life is in the whole, and not in this moment where you are now waiting for this to happen. So, take your time, first of all, to find out who you are. Who is the you who is going to make this step into this amazing changing into a new world from the water or out of the water onto the earth, next to that fire that is boiling inside of this volcano? And what is the life you bring along into the life of the other person, as well as considering that this person is not going to give himself up just to care for you, but he has a life. And what is important, just as in this card, the different strings are being fit together to make one picture, the strings of your both lives are going to be put together to make a new whole picture again. That is the point. Don't forget you as a being and as a becoming, not simply a being, but a becoming in the story, in the picture, as well as not forgetting that this person will also be a being that has to come together with you. Just the way you have the Two of Wands. Those are two wands. They are not intertwined at that moment. So just the way you have two individual wands, you will be two individual persons who decide each day to make your path together. But you are still individuals and you have a right to be individual and you have the right to evolve individually, to make the steps together. So I hope this gives you some ideas what is in store for you. I hope this gives you some ideas what it is you can become aware of and where you can evolve into to help you on your way. Thank you for watching, and again, thank you for giving me the opportunity to put this online.